Rise and shine, sleepyheads. Get your buns up out of bed. It's morning once again. Let's get going. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, this is Will from Yugen Bliss, The Road to Happiness. And I want to wish everybody a great Monday morning. 5 days until Christmas. Oh, I hope everybody's all ready. And either way, does it really matter now? Because you know what? We're going to be with loved ones and we're going to enjoy. And you know what? I hate to say this, but every day should be like Christmas, in my opinion. Leaving that being said, it's a whopping 3 degrees here in Maine today. Yeah, it's cold. That's why I'm doing the good morning video inside my vehicle. And not only that, my wife had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I had to accommodate her, as it's always my pleasure, for sure. But she's having some, it's stuff to do with the after effects of her COVID shot, I think. She does too. But she's having implications with her heart stuff, so they're putting her on a heart monitor today. All is well, I know it is. Sending love and light, and I know that I'm sending love and light to my wife too, and everybody else out there that's in need. We know love wins either way, and I've been battling the last couple of weeks, because we're all human, right? And we all have our down times, and we always try to look for ways to try to bring ourselves up, right? So we do that. And I had a wonderful testimony yesterday that kind of like brought up a lot more emotions that I had been suppressing for a long time. And I appreciate you, Lee. She's got a wonderful channel, guys. She's a beautiful soul. So I don't really want to get too much into that but yeah, I had a testimony yesterday that after it was very emotional after the fact that I said it, because it was about my life that was very traumatizing, and I had suppressed it for like 30 years, and I haven't really been dealing with it. I didn't realize it was a problem until yesterday. So it was something that I'm starting to have it come up. So now I think I want to get together with my 3 brothers, and I want to share with them how much I do love them and how far they've all come in their life, and how proud I am of them. And it's very important, I guess. It's long overdue. We've kind of we were extremely close. Me and my 3 brothers were extremely close. We all grew up in the same foster home. We went through a lot of experiences together, good and bad, and a lot weren't so good. So what brought us all 4 here today and still alive is the most important thing, because we all have our story to tell. And I don't really want to say story, because it's not really a story, it's a testimony. And I hope someday my 3 brothers can gather up enough courage to remove that pain, because I understand it and I felt it yesterday, you know. So it's very painful when you open up a door that's been closed for so long because you didn't dare to face it, right? That's how it is. And when we try to run away from it, we find everything to do to try to avoid it. And a lot of the things that I did in my life was I turned to alcohol. I wasn't a bad guy on alcohol. I was they call it a functional drunk. I could drink and still maintain my life. I wasn't a mean person. I was very vocal when I was drinking, and I got pretty obnoxious like the average person. But I wasn't a mean person. I wasn't violent. I wasn't violent to my family. I didn't do anything malicious to hurt anybody else, except for the fact when I got behind the wheel. You know, and I realize that now, but there was so many times in my life that God was looking out for me in those moments. And it brought me to this moment right now so I can share with you all out there that you're not alone, that it's okay. You've made a million mistakes like I have. I've made a million, and I've done a lot of rotten things, okay? But I've turned my life around in the last 2.5 years, okay? I've turned my life around because I realized on the verge of my death, my near-death experience, where I drank so much alcohol, I drank a bunch of moonshine, I didn't care about life, and I was laying on my bathroom floor. So we all get to that point in our lives, but the most important thing is to listen to your inner self at that very moment of death. And I mean that not in a literal way, but when you're completely down and out and you're not on your feet and you're on your face on a floor, that's when you start listening, because you're not going to give up. No one's going to give up, because you're never alone. You're never alone. Even though I felt that I was completely alone in that room. I was completely alone. But I knew that I wasn't alone mentally. I knew that I was still alive and well. And I knew that God was there with me. And my God, my one and only God, came to me and he said, Will, this is not your time. This is your great chance to make a difference in your life for the better. And you can help other people. I didn't believe it at the time when I was in that moment, of course. But now, talking to you behind this camera, I can say those are the things that changed in my head. I knew at that friggin' point that I had a family that I had to look out for. I had a grandchild that I had to really stand up to be a grandfather with, because there were things that were happening in his life, in my daughter's life, and everybody else's life at that point. They needed me. So I got up, I got in the shower, I took the longest shower, I ran the hot water completely out, and I went to bed. And I had the best sleep. I woke up the next morning, and I felt no urge. I got up and went to work. I finished the work week out. It was a Wednesday. I got home that weekend, and I told my wife, I said, you know what, Joe? I'm quitting my job Monday. I'm going in, and I'm telling them I'm no longer employed here. I do not want to work here. It's no longer for me. I don't want to be here. And I did it. And it was the hardest thing for me to do, but I listened to my gut instinct, and it was the greatest thing I ever did, because now my full-time job is looking after my grandson. That's my full-time job. My wife's never owned a license. My wife has never owned a driver's license her entire life. I've been the primary person that gets her to work. That's not even a big deal. But I'm telling you, those were things that I wasn't thinking about when I was drinking and partying and realizing all those stupid things that I was doing to affect me directly on this other end of this stick. That I wanted prosperity, and I wanted love, and I wanted all that stuff, but I was hanging out at the end of the stick where there was drugs, partying, not caring about my family, not giving a crap about me. Those things right there were stemming from my past. That door that I never wanted to open was the reason why I was being held back and stuck at the end of that stick. So you see, once we realize that God is the person that is in control of everything, no matter what it is, and you have no control over nothing except for the moment that you have making that decision. That's the only thing you have control of, is that very moment when we have to choose to open that can of beer or not to open that can of beer. Okay? That's the very moment that we make. And you know what? Those are the things that I think consciously now every single day of my life. Alcohol's never left my life since I've stopped drinking. Okay? It's around me all the time. And yeah, I don't have that desire to go and have one anymore. That's a blessing. Okay? God's giving that and removing that from me. It doesn't say that I can't go have a beer if I want to. I choose not to do that. Okay, that's a choice. I'm not being forced. There's no gun against my head. So that's my free will and accord. And I'm learning that more and more every single day of my life. But it's because I had to let go of my traumatic past that I'm still dealing with every single day of my life. I have the hardest time to trust. And that is one of those things that you have to open up yourself to be completely balanced. You have to learn to trust. And it's taken me 30 some odd years. But finally, I've released most of that. Yes, I have a little bit of problems with social media. I have a very hard time trusting the other individual on the other side because I can't see him in a physical manner or her in a physical manner. That's not a big deal. That's why most of the time it's a hard time for me, because this is completely new to me too. This is all part of this transformation that God's given to me and said that you can handle this. I wouldn't put this on your plate if you could not handle this. You need to tell your story, your testimony, so that others can gain inspiration from you, Will. That's the key to this. This is the whole reason why I started this YouTube channel 10 months ago. Almost a year ago. I'm 2 months away from being a year, and I can't wait because it's going to be the biggest celebration of my life, because it changed my life dramatically, and it also changed my grandson's life, Owen. It's given Owen an opportunity to grow too as a 4-year-old. He loves being behind the camera. You guys don't see everything. I only give you bits and pieces of my life. But Owen's got his own phone, one of our old phones, but it's not hooked up, so he can do his own videos. He's doing his own videos. He's recording his own videos and practicing because he enjoys doing it. You know, he loves doing outside adventures. So this opportunity wasn't just for me, and God knew that. It was for me, my family, for everyone out there that's on the other side of this camera that wants to listen to me. Okay? These are the reasons why you have to just let go of that control that you think you have. As soon as I let go of that control and I opened the door, it blew me over yesterday. It completely blew me away. I hadn't been that emotional in a long time. And I did it to the world. And I couldn't even believe I did it. Okay? And a little bit after that, yeah, I felt a little guilty after that. Of course, that's a normal feeling. But now looking back at that hindsight, it had to happen that way. Because it gave me the courage to get behind here and explain to you, which I have no reason to justify myself at all. I already know that. But it's the courtesy and the consideration and the understanding and the love that I have for humanity and myself now to do this video. So that's why I feel it's extremely important to listen. Open up the goddamn door, man. Quit running away from it. Just do it. Because if you don't do it, you're never going to resolve what's going on in your life. You're never going to be able to reach that boom. You're not going to be able to go any further. You're going to be stuck at the end of the stick. That's a fact. I've been there. I've been there. So there. I mean, I am gonna make a video, okay? Because I wanted to wait and make a video before I even spoke my testimony yesterday, but God told me to do it yesterday. Okay, I didn't go into great details. I want to do a video from beginning to end of where I came from and how I came to be where I am. And I think that's going to be extremely important. And this was one of the things that I've always wanted to do, is I always wanted to write a book about myself and my story and how my testimony of my life from beginning to where it is right now. I've always wanted to do that. Maybe this is my opportunity. Maybe it's not going to be a book. Maybe it's going to be my video speaking it. Because this is where I love to be. I love to be behind this camera. And I know this for a fact, because when I talk with confidence and love and off the cuff, and because I'm talking about what's really off right up here, I don't have a problem being behind here. Okay? So that being said, it's over 14 minutes. I'm going to leave you right there, but I'm going to tell you this. Let's please have mercy for every single soul on this planet. Good or bad or indifferent, I don't care who you are. I'm going to leave everything aside, because you know what? Someone's going to have to do the same thing for me. And I'm going to tell you that because there was many things that I've done people wrong in my past, okay? But I've accepted the fact that that is no longer me. So I have to do the same for everybody else. I have to accept them, not for their past, but who they are in this very moment. So remember that, okay? Sending love and light. I'm a lighthouse, steady and strong, for the world to see my light shine bright. Yugen Bliss, the road to happiness. And I hope that I can touch a soul as I've been touching mine. And I'm telling you, my light's shining, man. My light's shining, and now I realize the real truth. And the real truth lies within off the cuff, being who you truly are. And don't be ashamed. And don't be afraid of the haters, because they're going to be out there and they're going to try to bring you down. That's just the way it is. That's the facts. But I'm not going to let that will never deter me from doing what is right and what's just and what's the best for humanity and myself. I love you all. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. May your light shine bright. I love you. I love you very much. Take care.